Very cool. Thank you. Thank you for that, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, today's topic is how to stay motivated and how to use your goals to do exactly that. And I want to share with you, I was actually having a contact with the young lady that was, or having a contact, having a sit down meeting on Monday after the morning meeting with Miss Casey there about how to create team goals and how to track them. And it also morphed into how to track our own personal goals. And so, guys, I wanted to share with you a couple things, and I'm going to use an email that I sent to our leadership group to kind of illustrate that. So, it actually starts off with a little bit of good news, guys. Solid Train More last week, our second best week of the year. Congrats to our two Eagle riders, Casey and Zach. That is how leaders show up on Train Mores. And I'll say the same thing to you guys that I said to our leaders, guys. We have 3 weeks, including this one, to set up for our next Train More and get prepared for that. So, those people that were riding 20 and 30,000 the last Train More, they didn't just show up for it and it happened by accident. Justin Ellingson's organization wrote 490,000 net premium because they planned for it. They set appointments. They booked enrollments. They were set up well to do that. And I want to challenge all of us to do that as well. Set up a big next Train More while hitting our goals on the way. Also, big congrats to Brian for having yet another rookie win the $250 Beast Mode bonus by selling 2,500 in premium, working 30 hours, doing 20 demos, getting their schedule done, and reporting their stats in that first week in the Virtual Sales Academy. That's what VSA stands for. Um, and the gentleman we're talking about, Mr. Jeffrey Pickett, also greened out on Monday, which is really cool. So 6 days to hit the quick start bonus. Zach helped Stephanie get on the board on Monday for our fourth organizational recruit in Q1. Kyle, we're gunning for you, trying to play some catch up. We got 3 in Sales Academy this week, and we're fired up to jump up to 7 by this time next week. And Ellison Sales Academy, and also Michelle Lucas, who just wrapped up Sales Academy yesterday. Get well, Michelle. Had a goal session yesterday with Casey. Where dug in and talked about how to take the net numbers and how that you get from the progress report each week. And you guys, every Tuesday, your numbers come out on what's called a progress report, and you can log right into the Family Heritage website. Matter of fact, I'll attempt to do that right now, and hopefully it will move quickly. But I'll just show you guys real quick. So, FHLconnect.com is the website. You have the keychain on your computer. It'll go ahead and put in your username, which is your agent number, and then you enter your password. If you're brand new, you get a dummy password to start with, and then you got to create your own password after that to be able to log in moving forward. But there's some great material on this. There's a lot of stuff, and knowing how to navigate and where to find it is pretty doggone important. So in the bottom left-hand corner of the homepage, you will see Sales Professional, and you'll see this little tab for Sales Professional Home. Okay. When you go into that and you go to Agent Material, and then just scroll over here to Agent Reports. Okay. Or you can just click on that Agent Material tab and then go down to Agent Reports this way. But either way, Agent Reports is the spot that you're looking for. And it'll take 5 or so seconds for that little blue line to go across your screen and pull it up. And then when it does, each of you guys has an individual progress report. And a bunch of other reports too, like Casper reports, which tell you the strength of your business, your compensation, which are your advance reports, and your advances, your commissions, chargeback statements, your statement of account. A lot of great material in there. Your policy, that is your actual agent register, so it's got all of your clients on there. I believe Zach and Brian talked about this recently, but it shares with you your new business that's hit the books, and also shares with you any cancellations or pins that's on there too. So I would strongly encourage you to check your agent register at least a couple times a week, so that you can know what's going on in your business, what went through, what's trying to fall off, so you can help keep that from happening. And just make a quick phone call. A lot of times when people's policies you see they're up for termination, a lot of times the agents the clients don't even know that they are, and a quick phone call can fix it. So that is part. If you're going to spend, guys, on average, if you're selling 5 policies a week, 5 transactions a week, that's 1 a day. That means you're averaging 8 to 9 hours of work to put a person on the books. Don't you think it's probably worth a 5-minute phone call in a conversation to keep it on the books. I would say so. So don't work that hard to put it on and then not bother following up if you see that they're falling off. So guys, progress summary report by agent. That's the page that I'm talking about. You click on that and it opens up and it tells you exactly where you are. For example, for this particular agent, Miss Casey Fine, this shows her week 8. It shows your weekly, it shows your monthly, it shows your quarterly, and it shows your annual to date. So for the week, net premium 11,616. That was the same as her gross. So no cancel issue came in. Ranked her 22nd in the company. Month to date, at week 4 of 4, at the end of the month of February, she had 31,324. She grossed 35,664. So she had about 3,200 of canceled issue in there throughout. That's right at about that 10%, just under the 10% number. Ranked her 15th in the company for the month. And I also got that $1,500 bonus for being over 30,000. Great job, Casey. In the quarter, it's 8 weeks of 13. So we're a little over halfway through the quarter. She's at 45,324 net, about 4,000 more than that gross. So she, again, right at about 10% canceled issue. And guys, I'm bringing up the gross and the net difference because, guys, understand, you sell gross, but we get paid on and earn incentives on net. So if you have a goal to sell 5,000 and you need 5,000 in premium, for that to achieve a goal, to hit what do you probably need to sell to be safe? Not 5,000.
6,000.
5,500. That's right. You need to sell 10% more, but 6,000 would definitely be safer. That'd be 20% more than to allow for a bunch of cancellations, but at least 10% more than that number. So if your goal is 5,000, at least 5,500 will be safe. That way, if you had 10% cancellations, you're still there. So net 45,324, ranked number 16 in the company. And then you can see year to date, it's the same, because when you're in the first quarter, year to date and quarter to date are the same thing. This also shows you guys where you are in relation to the national trip coming up and other incentives. So for personal premium at 45,000, team premium 79, personal recruits 2. She's already won level 1 of the trip. And that would be she won that for, let's see here. Actually, just for personal sales. You see, so she's at 30,000, that's level 1. To win level 1 for team, you got to have 150,000 and 2 recruits. To win level 1 for just straight up recruiting, it's 6. Okay. And then it tells you what level 2 is, level 3, level 4, etc. So guys, any questions on how to access or how to use the progress summary report? It's a great report. Comes out every single Tuesday. Okay. So guys, now that you have these numbers, what's important is that we create goals, okay, and then that we track our goals. So anybody that was here at the 8 weeks ago, you have goals, okay, and the form that we use for that looks a lot like this, okay. It looks like the Irish flag, if you will, kind of green, white, and orange. And this is our tracker that we plug in our contract level, our renewals, our average transaction, our closing percentage, which I'm not sure what X4 means, but anyway, we'll figure that part out. And then hours per demo. So this particular agent takes 1.82 hours to get a demo. I believe X4 means 25% or four demos per sale. But if you plug that in and then you plug in your income, you only use the orange, you only plug things in on the green squares, okay? Nothing else. And when you plug in that this person needed, $1,137.70 the week of January 25th, just using that for example, and that was to pay off $500 for Sam Club's card, bank drafts totaling $212, and a car payment of $425.52. Guys, I'm bringing that up because that's specific. That's very specific why this agent needed that money that month. And guys, the more specific you can be with your significance column, what is the significance of this amount of cash flow? What's the money going towards? Guys, I would encourage you, don't put bills, because that is about as vague as it gets. I need the money for bills. Know what bills you've got coming up in a couple of weeks and work towards those specific bills. And guys, things are more likely to happen when you've got a very specific reason to do that. If you're writing notes, and I hope you are, write this down, guys. Specific is terrific. They used to teach that at BNI, Business Network International. If you wanted a referral to something, be specific. If you said, I want a referral to anyone that can get cancer, that is not specific at all. And that is every single human that walks the earth. And if I asked that question, I would get 0 referrals that week. If I said, hey, I need to know if anybody knows anyone that works in HR or in management at Crossroads Ford, that's very specific. And someone might go to church with a person. Someone might work out at the gym with somebody that works there, and they can, okay, I can introduce you to so-and-so. So we got specific is terrific when it comes to getting referrals, when it comes to creating goals, all of that. So when you have all that data and you plug in, and this person plugs in $1,137.70 needed, this actually goes through and does a lot of, oh, and actually I figured out, you know what, that X4, that's what threw off these demos needed and hours needed. So you need to actually put a percentage in there. So if you plug in 25%, it would tell you exactly. So I just realized that has that little snafu in it. So I'm going to, so if the agent that's on here knows, you know, I'm talking about you, I would encourage you to take a moment and fix that real quick. So this is, and I'm kind of rolling the dice right now, because if I choose somebody, it may or may not be filled in. I'm just going to pick a random person, and we will hope that it was filled in here. So, anyway, this person here, it shows their contract, their renewals, their transaction closing percentage, and when you plug in again, $1,500, okay, is needed. It will tell you that in order to do that, based on the contract, you need $5,000, because 50% of 5,000 is 2,500, and 60% advance on that's 1,500. Okay. It also will tell you that with a 950 transaction size, this agent needs 5.3 transactions. Okay. And with a 17% closing percentage, which is 1 out of 6, this agent needs 31 demos. And with getting a demo every 2 hours, this person needs 61.92, roughly 63 hours. Okay. So that's valuable information to know. Now you can set goals or commitments for how many hours and how many demos you do, guys. These things up here are what you call controllables. Okay. We have 100% over our effort. Okay. Before I leave, I'll share this with you. This is actual wealth created. Guys, when you see your advances, when you sell when this agent sells 5,000 in premium, you would see $1,500. Okay. And guys, that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Oh, I got $1,500. That's all I made for last week's work. That's about half what you made for last week's work. Okay. What this person really made was $2,050 of first year commissions. And that takes, because you got to remember, 60% advance is only about 7 months of your first year commissions. The 2,050 represents all 12 months of commissions minus about 18% for cancellations. Okay. And you can do the math on that. If you want to take 5,000 times 50, 2,500, and then take that times 0.82, you'll get 2,050. Okay. 19-year renewals based on a 0.18, which is the renewal factor for 3% renewals. This person will also receive an additional $900 of renewals in years 2 through 20, or the next 19 years, for a grand total compensation of $2,950. So this agent seeing 1,500, this agent actually made almost 3,000. Getting half of it now up front, the other part is deferred. Guys, it's a beautiful business. So remember, when the money you see in your bank, that's about half of what you actually earned, and you will get it as long as what?
Stay around.
Stick around.
As long as you stick around. Oh, I heard it getting ready to be said.
Stick and stay and let them pay.
Stick and stay and make it pay. That's exactly right. So let them, and it works for policyholders. It also works for us agents, guys. So stick and stay and make it pay. So guys, that's how you figure out what your deal is. Now, guys, there's no place, if you'll notice, there's no real place on here to track. Okay, there's nowhere to track your progress on this, and that is exactly why I encourage all of you to take it one step further and create and I could send you each of you a link for this. I call it a leadership VPF. Everybody that's in leadership has seen this. And guys, even if you're not, I would encourage you to use this. But this is what I and most of the leaders in the legacy group of companies use. It's got, if you look at the bottom here, it's got an example to start with of how to use it. You know, what to plug in for hours for your goals. This person at the first of the year had 35 hours for the first week, wasn't working the next 2 weeks over Thanksgiving and New Year's, excuse me, Christmas and New Year's, 60 hours on the train more, 45 hours on normal weeks. So just an example. And then you see that's the plan. So what you do is you take your numbers from the other spreadsheet we showed you and you just plug them in for hours each week. Okay, whatever that number was or whatever you plan to do. And then the key part, guys, is track it. Okay, just creating goals and then never looking at them one time and then never going back and looking at them again and tracking your progress. You're only getting about 10% of the value of creating your goals that you could if you tracked it. That's important. What gets measured gets grown, guys. So that is a sample. It shows you same thing with demos. You need to put down how many demos you actually did after that week. Okay. And then you have net premium goals for each week. You put that in here, your goals, but then also what was your follow through? And then there's 2 blanks over here there, and you can put whatever you want to on that. There's kind of a dealer's choice. It's got the calendar in here, so you can use that. It's got personal goals in here. So if I was goal setting 40 hours each week, let's say I just put in 40 hours each week, and then I was doing 55 on Train Mores, I would then want to go in after the week and say, okay, well, here's what I actually worked. Okay. And then it will total for me, and it will tell me that I am 10 hours in the green after 4 weeks, meaning I'm 10 hours ahead of my goal. If for some reason I had worked 40 hours on the train more instead, it would tell me that I'm -6 hours towards my goal quarter to date. Does everybody understand that? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Same thing with demos. You have a demo goal. Let's just say it's 30 on normal weeks and 38 on a train more week. And then you want to go in and put in your actuals. Did you only get 28? Okay. Then you know you're 2 behind. So the next week, if you get 32, 2 ahead, you're right back to even. See that little number down here at the bottom? The next week, you busted up and did 35. Now you are 5 in the green. So you're ahead of schedule. So it's tracking in real time where you are. Guys, why might that be valuable to know if you're ahead, right on track, or behind on your controllable hour and demo goals for the quarter? Why do you think that might be important?
Readjust to know whether you got to step it up or not.
Bingo, to know what you got to step it up. I mean, guys, if you're behind, I mean, you got a choice. You can either say, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to be behind, or I'm going to get further behind and I'm not going to pay attention to it. Or if I'm this person and my goal the following week is 40 hours, let's say it's 40 hours the next 2 weeks, I got a choice. I can not do anything about it, or I can put in 46 hours to make up for my 6-hour deficit the very next week. And boom, now I'm right back on track. Right back at 0. So I'm it's perfectly on track. And the following week I work 45 hours, then I'm 5 hours ahead. Okay. So knowing, not just creating a goal, but knowing it and then tracking it throughout the quarter. So that's how you use that, guys. And it's very, very vital to do it, because then that lets you know if you need to, again, step it up, put in additional effort. Because guys, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you're going to kind of not put in the hours 1 week, in order for you to arrive at your destination, you've got to put in that many more hours the next week, or at least by the end of the quarter, to catch up. Okay. That's very, very valuable. Now, Q1 team looks a little bit different. Okay. So what I just shared with you guys, this is the tracking system for your personal sales. And this particular agent I was sitting down with on Monday, she said, okay, well, there's 2 additional ones over here. What else would you like to track? You can, and I think one of the things that she wanted to track was referrals, because as we all know, it's the lifeblood of our sales business, and putting the plan for each week, and then actually what you did. And your last one may be, heck, it may be enrollment set. You can do whatever you want to, whatever you're going to track, just plug it in there, set a goal for it, and then track it. Some people that may be families protected. That may fire you up a little more than enrollments, whatever the case is. Okay. Now on the Q1 team, guys, if you don't have a team, I would encourage you to use this to set a game plan for when you want to start a team. If you don't have any numbers in here, again, submitting agents. Well, when do you want to have a team by? I want to start my team by the end of the quarter. Well, that would mean you'd have zeros all the way through here, but then you'd have a little one right here. Actually, you'd have two, because if you have a submitting agent and you also submit business, that would be 2 submits. Guys, if you submit business in a week and you don't have a person on your team submit business, then you get 0 submits. So your personal submit only counts if you have team members selling as well. So just to kind of be clear on that one. But you can kind of see these are my actual goals for the first quarter, by week. And I based mine based on what happened last year in the first quarter, and I increased every number by 20%. That's what I like. I like to grow 20% year over year. If you're new, you're not going to be looking at last year and growing 20% because you weren't here last year. So you got to figure out something else that does motivate you. And I'm more than willing to sit down with you, and your team leader is too. But based on last year, 11, 6, 10, 11, 17, 14, 14, 12, 10, 14, 14, 16, and 11. So what we actually did the first week was we had 4. That told me right out of the gate, okay, we're down by 7. We broke even the next week. We were 1 up the third week. We were 3 down the next week, 5 down the next week, 2 down the next week, 2 down the next week, and 1 up last week. So currently we are down 17 submits. So I know that with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to go, if we can make up about 3 submits per week, we'll be right tracking to be there. So that means if we hit 13 this week, and we should actually probably, since we did 13 last week and just added 2 new team members, we should be at more like 15 this week in all fairness. So boom, that takes us from 7 down to just 12 down. That'd be pretty exciting to have everybody from last week on the board plus 2 additional new agents. So don't have those numbers yet, so I'll delete that. Same thing with premium, guys. You have a plan and you have a goal. And our group we were very, very much behind until about 3 weeks ago, where we were going up against 28,000 from a year ago, and we wrote 67,212. That took us from being behind to being ahead. And then the week after that, we were up about 11,000. And the week after that, last week on the train board, we were going up against only 27,000. Guys, one of the coolest things about having a crappy week this year, the best thing about it is you get to compete against it 52 weeks from now. Okay. And I have these conversations with experienced agents all the time. Man, I'm only going up against like 325 from a year ago. Well, it sucked a year ago, but it sure is fun competing against that little bitty number this year. You go ahead and write a green out, you just gained $4,500 of growth. So we wrote twice as much insurance on the train more as we did a year ago. And we are right now $67,725 ahead of the pace for my goal. Because these aren't your goals. These are the goals that I have for the organization. As long as I help you guys hit your goals, these will happen. Okay. And I also have goals for recruits for each week too. As you can see, we got pretty doggone behind the first 2 months. We actually had a goal of, after 8 weeks, we had a goal of 7 recruits, and we had 2. So we were down by 5. I've already actually plugged in this week and next week, which they haven't happened yet. So technically we can take those out. But if we have 3, the 3 people that were in Sales Academy all submit business this week, and I believe, one of them already has from Sales Academy last week, is submit business on Monday. And as long as we get those 2 new people on track, that's going to be a 3 this week. So it'll be fun next Tuesday when the official numbers come out to see those 3 new people hit the field and be able to go from 4 down, 4 behind, to just 2 behind. Because the goal was 1, we got 3, so we gained 2. Hope I'm not being throwing too many numbers around with you, but that'll be kind of fun to hit that. So I got so excited, I went ahead and just plugged in the 3 right there. So it is what it is. Stephanie, and then Michelle this week, and Ellis this week, all will make up those 3. The following week after that, we're hoping that Mackenzie and Brian Terode, they're also on the board, and that's going to be our 2 for that week. And then we're going to be right on track. We're going to be just one behind after that. So if we can have 4 recruits in the last 3 weeks, we'll be right on track with our 12. So guys, this is something that seriously every week the numbers come out. The first place I'm going is plugging these in to track myself. Okay. So again, creating goals is better than not creating goals at all, but it's only about 10% as effective as creating those goals, having a sincere and specific why that's important to you, and then tracking those goals throughout the quarter. I hope that kind of makes sense, guys. Any questions about any of that I just covered? Gotcha. So again, I hope each of you takes 5 minutes each Tuesday and plugs in your actuals right next to your goals to determine if you need to keep doing what you're doing or if you need to step it up a bit to make sure that you end up at your desired location by the end of the quarter. Okay, guys, it's kind of like going to, if you want to be in California in 7 days and you know that you've got to drive 350 miles a day. If you only drive on your second day 250 miles, you know that you've got to either drive 450 miles the next day to catch up, or you've got to add 70 miles to each of the last 5 days to make sure that you end up there by 7 days. Otherwise, you'll end up somewhere in Nevada in 7 days and you won't make your destination. I hope that analogy kind of helps you kind of get an idea with goals. So again, I put a screenshot of my VPF is below with the progress report. So this is a progress report that I get for the whole organization. You guys each have your own individual one. It is vital to track this, both team and personal numbers. The first quarter VPF, the one that looks like the Irish flag, that calculates your hours, the one I just shared with you at the beginning of this, and demos based on your what you need in hours and demos based on your desired cash flow, is great for the initial calculations. However, as we just shared, there's no space on here to track. There's nowhere to track what you actually did, what you actually sold in premium. So again, great for initial, but it's not very good for tracking. You need to have something like this to track have your goals in there and your actuals right next to it. Guys, I'm going to shift gears here real quick, and I'm going to, if I can, here we go. Whoops. I'll find it here in a minute. I'm looking for my email. Here we go. There it is. So guys, I'm going to wrap up on this today. Hopefully that was helpful. Did anybody learn anything? I can very easily send out a link for you guys on the tool that I just shared, but this is a Google document. That means it lives on the internet. So you have to save it. You have to name it. You wouldn't want to name yours Van's copy of VPF. You'd want to put your name on there and save it. And then you can just literally, you have to go to the website. It's not just something that just lives on your computer. It lives in the internet. So we'd have to send that to you and you can get that. So I'll be sure to send a link out to everybody today on that. But I would really encourage you, take your goals, if you haven't done so already, from that initial. And if you're new and you never even set goals yet, I would encourage you, we got 5 weeks left in the quarter. I'd sit down and have some goals, and I would use the basic company's averages to set those goals. I would use a 1 out of 6 closing percentage, which is 16, 17%. I would use $900 for an average transaction, and create some goals for yourself. And guys, speaking of tracking, I got this in the mail just yesterday. Wanted to share with you guys. It's a much bigger goal card. Some people were asking about this and where they came from, and I guess they came from Nicole because she just emailed or mailed me this yesterday. So if anybody wants these, I've got these in the Raleigh office. We can get those to you on Monday at the Monday morning meeting. And I assume they're being mailed out to the other offices too. I haven't looked into that very much. But also, speaking of tracking, guys, 2 days ago we started the sales month of March. I would encourage you guys, if you have a goal for the month, if you don't, get one. And if you do, track it. Put it on a goal thermometer, okay? These are goal thermometers. This is a monthly bonus tracker, okay? And the idea is that at the end of each week, you go in here, you get yourself a red Sharpie or whatever. It really doesn't matter if it's red or not. But if you're like me, anal retentive, and you want it to stay accurate, just, I use red. And yeah, you hit 2,500 that first week, fill in the mercury from 0 up to 2,500. The next week you had an eagle. Well, that's cool. Put a line up here at 12,500. That's where you are so far. Right in 12,500. Fill in the mercury. It's fun to look and see our progress, guys. And that way, when you know that you're at 19,800, like Casey was going into the last week, she knew that she needed basically 11,000 more, 10,500 more to get up over 30,000. And she went out on Sunday. Now, without that knowledge, there's a decent chance maybe she doesn't go out and work Sunday. But she knew she needed about 5,500 more in premium. So she did, and she sold it. And she's getting a $1,500 cash bonus as a result, plus whatever 40% of 5,500 that she sold on Sunday. What's that, about an extra $2,200 of commission? So congratulations on that. That was a $3,700 decision, Casey, to do that. So way to track yourself, way to know where you are, and way to make actions and act based on that. So this is one of them. What inspires you to reach your goals? Plugging that in there, what you want to do. This is one that's a little bit different. My goal for the month is blank premium. That'll give me blank cash flow and 3 things I can do this month to help me reach my goals. Do 30 demos a day, do some positive reading each day, track myself throughout use a goal card, whatever you want to put in there, and then just do it. Do those 3 things. Have better communication with my manager. And this is a third one that just says SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I'll wrap up on this note, guys. This is something that was also in my piece, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I would encourage you to write these down. I'm going to give you 6 tips for staying motivated long term. Okay. 1. So I received many emails from people that basically ask the same question: how can I keep myself motivated? Okay. It seems like to be quite a dilemma for many people. So I want to address it because it can be done. Here are my tips for staying motivated. 1, get motivated every day. Zig Ziglar once said, once confronted about being a motivational speaker, the guy said to him, "You guys come in, get people hyped up, and then you leave and the motivation goes away. It doesn't last. Then you have to get motivated all over again." Zig reminded the gentleman that baths are the same way, or showers, but we do think it's a good idea to take a bath every day, right? I want to ask you guys to expose any of your personal hygiene habits right here, but guys, most of us take a shower or a bath every day. Then guys, that means it's not permanent. It's temporary. Motivation is too. Isn't it true that motivation doesn't last? We have to renew it each and every day. That is okay. It doesn't make motivation a bad thing. We simply have to realize that if we want to stay motivated over the long term, it's something we have to apply to ourselves each and every day. And that's why we always say, guys, technical reading and training at night when you get home, emotional, positive reading in the morning to get yourself motivated for the day. Number 2, have a vision for your life. The root word of motivation is motive. The definition of motive is a reason to act. This is the cognitive or rational side of motivation. It is your vision. You have to have a vision that's big enough to motivate you. If you're making $50,000 a year, it isn't going to motivate you to set your goal at $52,000 per year. Big whoop, 1% growth. Or I guess that'd be 4%. You just won't get motivated for that because the reward isn't enough. Maybe 70 grand a year would work for you. Set out a vision and a strategy for getting there. Have a plan and work the plan. And guys, we have all the data and all the tools for you to pick a number that you want to earn, and we can reverse engineer it and show you exactly what you need to do to earn it. It's all here, guys. It's kind of like I put on the Voxer yesterday. It's a big old buffet, guys, and everything is available as long as you're willing to pay for it when you get to the register. Okay, put it on your plate. We'll show you how to pay for it. Number 3, fuel your passion. Much of motivation is emotional. I don't quite know how it works, but I do know that it works. Emotion is a powerful force in getting us going. Passion is emotion. So fuel your passion. Well, I like to work on logic, you may say. Great. Now work on your passion. Set yourself on a course to have a consuming desire for your goal, whatever it is. Do whatever you can to feel the emotion and use it to your advantage. Number 4, work hard enough to get results. You can build on your motivation by getting results, guys. The harder you work, the more results you'll get. And the more results you get, the more you'll be motivated to get more. It's the snowball effect in a really good way. These things all build on one another. If you want to lose weight, then lose the first few pounds. Then the belt moves to your next notch and you get fired up to get to the notch beyond that. So baby steps, okay? Guys, 2 more. 5, put good materials in your mind. Guys, anybody that's ever worked out knows that you got to eat the right food to get the physical body that you want. Well, guys, our brains are the same way, even more so. if you want your brain to work the way you want it to work, you got to feed it the right things. Okay. I can't say enough about this. Listen to tapes, CDs, MP3s. I still listen to tapes regularly. This is obviously an older document. I buy tape clubs from other speakers, and I learn and grow. So podcasts would kind of be the logical thing to insert right here. Their successes motivate me to get my own success. Read good books that teach you new ideas and skills. Guys, it said that 5 years from now, you'll be the same person you are today, except for two things: the books you read and the people that you meet and spend time with. Read books that tell the stories of successful people. Buy them, read them, get motivated. Buy great music and listen to it. I just did a spin class at the club today. Whenever a good song came on, I was actually able to get motivated to ride faster. It gets you going and motivates you. And number 6, guys, ride the momentum when it comes. This is so key, guys. It's been said, momentum's a fickle lady. She comes and she goes. So if you're on a hot streak, guys, don't stop. Hot streaks have a way of stopping on their own. You don't need to stop. You don't need to help them stop by leaving the field after a sale. Okay. Sometimes you'll just be clicking, and sometimes you won't. That's okay. It's a cycle of life. So, but when you aren't clicking, plug away. When you are clicking, pour it on, because momentum will help you get larger gains in a shorter period of time with less energy. Okay. That's the momentum equation. When you're feeling good about how your work is going, ride that momentum and get as much out of it as you possibly can. Guys, we got time for 3 quick comments. What's just one takeaway that you got from our part today, whether it be on goals and tracking, setting goals, tracking those goals, or using the tools for to create some momentum and motivation for yourself? 3 people, real quick.
I would say just making sure that you are staying on this, like, on your goals path. And then, even if you say you have your goal of, green out in a week, and you meet that on Thursday, don't just stop there. Go for that globe or go for that eagle.
Right on. Thank you, Nick.
Van, hey, this is Mary Lou. I think one thing that I love about this, and this is the first time I've seen that spreadsheet, but having really tangible goals. So, I've got 2 kids that are in college. So being able to think about, hey, here's what I owe for bills, et cetera, but then adding on those additional really tangible things that will start going down with the result of protecting more families.
Right on, Mary Lou. Thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. And your team leader can get you this document immediately. Just call them when we get done today. And then we can get you what your personal metrics are for right now. Or if you don't have enough metrics yet, we'll get you some company averages in there, and you can figure out exactly the effort you need to get the results that you want. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. We got time for one more, guys.
Ben, I like just looking to see where you're at for the quarter, going back to the VPF, just seeing putting the stats in where you're sitting at right now from what your plan was. It does take work to do that, but you just taking the 2 minutes to look at your reports each week, and then just putting those stats in, and you're like, oh man, I'm 12% behind on my submits, ahead of my premium, and my recruits are a little bit behind, but it's just good to know where you are. Just like every athlete, every actor, every profession in America, they know exactly where they are. They track every single stat. Just look at like a basketball stat line and how many stats there are at the end of a game of every single category. They know their stats. So being a true professional here, you got to know your stats where you're at as well. And it just shows professionalism.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Kyle. Guys, and your results, if you know what the results are, they should help guide you with the activity that you need to. I didn't run 2 interviews on Saturday because I felt like working over the weekend. I ran 2 interviews on Saturday because I knew that there was a better chance of hiring them and getting them on board, and selfishly hitting my recruiting goal of 12 for the quarter if I did that on Saturday instead of waiting till Monday or Tuesday to get that done. So that's just an example of the results and knowing that, hey, I'm 4 recruits behind, And the only way I'm going to catch up on recruits is by recruiting and doing more, because obviously I got behind in the first part of the quarter. And I know that by doing that, I'll also get caught up on my submits as well. And in the process, stay ahead of the game on our net premium goals. Guys, understand that premium follows submits typically. It is amazing that we are actually ahead on premium while we're behind on submits and behind on recruiting. But those numbers, if we stayed behind, they would show up the next quarter. So understand that submits, the more sales you're going to have. We just happen to have a few people that have come in brand new and written Eagles very early on, and really help juice up those numbers. But if you want to have big premium, you got to have big submits. And if you want to have big submits, where's it all start, guys? Recruiting. That's exactly right. So I would challenge you guys, if you didn't recruit anybody yesterday, if you didn't talk to a single person about the opportunity, put a big old R on your hand right now. Just grab a pen and put an R on your hand, and you're going to look down and see that 20, 30 times a day. And when you do, it's going to remind you, oh yeah, I need to talk to someone about recruiting. It'll also hopefully remind you to do the other R, which is referrals. So guys, thanks for being on today. Thank you for your participation. This will be archived if you want to go back and look at it and look at this, watch this again. Repetition's the mother of all learning. Feel free to do so. It's going to be put on our YouTube channel by the end of the week, along with our other great meetings that we have. And so use that tool. Tools are great. Just got to use them. So thanks for being on, guys. Have a great day, and let's go hit our goals. Bye.
That was a great call.